Hi everybody, this is the overview for week 8. We're more than halfway through the semester now, so congratulations and thank you for filling out that mid-semester feedback survey. To everybody who did that, feedback is really helpful. This week, the main thing is going to be to submit your second major writing assignment. That's due on Wednesday, and then we're going to shift into our third major writing assignment. So we'll get started on that. Here's the week 8 module. We'll go through everything like we normally do. So the video that I'm recording now will go here. You can see that on Wednesday, the main thing, like I just said, is to submit your literacy narrative for the second major writing assignment. And then I want you to read through the assignment description for the third major writing assignment. Now you're just reading the description so that you know what's coming up. It's not due yet. By Sunday, I want you to have read this article called Reflection on the Concept of Discourse Community by John Swales. And then I've got a few assignments for you to do related to that. So let's take a look at each of these really quick. So again, Wednesday is the due date for the second major writing assignment. You do have the 2 days after the 48-hour grace period to submit it. So it's due on Wednesday, but if something comes up, you can still submit it through Friday. And then, like I mentioned, I want you to read through the assignment description for our next major writing assignment. This one's all about thinking about different discourse communities that you belong to, and that's going to be the topic of the reading that you do this week. Now notice it's not due until November 25th, so we've got quite a bit of time for this, but I want you to read the assignment description so you know what's coming up. I also just want you to be aware of the draft for this assignment. It's just like all the other drafts for peer review that we've done, and that's going to be due on November 12th, so in about a month. By Wednesday, I want you to have read this article that I mentioned called Reflection on the Concept of Discourse Community by John Swales. And this is one that we're going to be talking about a lot in the coming weeks. So it's really important that you read this one, you read it closely. If you have questions about it, you can ask me, we can talk about it. But I want to make sure that you really understand what's happening in this article and what a discourse community is. To that effect, I've got this little reading comprehension check. So this is like a little quiz on the reading. It's 10 questions. Each one's worth half a point. It is open book, but you can only take it once. So make sure that you've double checked your answers and that you've checked in the reading to make sure that you're understanding what you've read. After that, I've got a little assignment where I want you to just apply some of the concepts that you've read about in this Discourse Communities article. So for this assignment, I want you to choose some social media platform, either one you have an account with, or you don't even need to have an account with it. And I want you to analyze a specific community within that social media platform using Swales' definition of a discourse community. So you can do this by looking at different hashtags or just kind of looking at many different posts and seeing if people are using some common terminology or if you can identify some shared goals that people have. Things like that. And then I want you to just write 150 to 200 words explaining your research. And I say here to be sure to tell me what social platform you used, what community you studied, like how did you decide which community you studied, and how did you study it? Did you read a bunch of posts? Did you search through different hashtags? What did you actually do? And then just tell me something that you found, something interesting. The main question I want you to answer is this one. Does the community meet Swales' criteria or his definition for a discourse community? The last thing for this week, like with every week, is our process portfolio entry. So for this one, I want you to stay in kind of this discourse community mindset and choose one of these questions to respond to. So you can think about how membership in different discourse communities has shaped you, or you can think of a time when you've been aware of becoming a member of a discourse community, like where you've tried to become a member of a community, and talk about how that was different than maybe becoming a member of a community that just happened kind of automatically. So that's all we've got for this week. If you have questions or concerns, as always, please let me know, and I'll look forward to talking with you then.